Hi, I'm Mike Kenferger with Tricky Fast Studios. Today I'm going to continue my talk about the ability service and how to make abilities. By the end of this video, you should be able to make a healing ability for the player. Now, if you remember, in the previous video we made an attack ability. And I'm using this scene that I've created with some assets out of the asset store. Those assets will be linked in the video description below. Now if we come in here, we can attack. And we can hurt these guys. And they can also hurt us. Now, one problem is that you notice our health's going down and it's not going back up. Let's get a bunch of guys here. This is going to be a problem pretty soon, huh? And now I'm dead. Well, that kind of stinks. I wish there was some way I could heal myself. Well, let's make an ability for that. So this time, instead of making it into a prefab, I'm just going to add it directly to the player to keep things simple here. So you can just add cat RPG abilities. Ability, we're going to call this heal. And once again, just like in the last video, it's added a bunch of things. A warm-up, release, and cooldown. Underneath the release, we're going to add an effect group, just like before. Now, once again, let's go back up to the ability here. We'll set the name to heal. Ability type normal. We can leave the minimum range, maximum range at 0. Because this is going to work on ourselves. Now, unlike the attack ability, we want this to actually cost some of our fuel. So, we're going to have this cost mana. Oops. Now, mana is a fuel stat that I've already set up. Let's see if I can find it. Right, so we have mana, we have 100 mana, and it does regenerate. That's a new feature in one of the latest versions of Cat. So going back to our ability here. So we want it to cost, let's say, 12 mana. So if you don't have that mana, you're not going to be able to cast that ability. Alright, next, in our warm-up stage, we actually want to do some things here. And we're going to set a duration of 2. First off. And then we're also going to add a couple of animation things and a spawn action. So we want to have the caster play like some sort of casting animation here. And I'm using a fairly complicated animator. Yours might be more simple, but we're going to have to set a few things here. So we're going to have to do two integer animation parameters. Actually, let's just do the one, and then we'll copy the other one. So we want to set this to the player's body, because that's what has the animator on it. We want to set the parameter name to right weapon, and then set it to 0. So effectively, with this animator, in order to play some of these non-combat spells, spell animations, you have to not be wielding a weapon in one of your hands. So we're going to set this right weapon to 0, and let's duplicate that. We're going to set the action to 1, so that's just one of the spell animations, and then we're going to add a trigger, animation trigger. And again, we're going to set the path here to the body. And this is going to be instant switch trigger, so that's just going to instantly switch weapons to having unarmed. It doesn't really change anything visibly, it just changes some state in the animator. And then we're going to add a spawn action so that we can play an effect here. Alright, in our spawn action, we're going to leave the target as none. we're going to leave the owner or the parent as player. And then for the prefab, oops. Yep, we're going to add, whoops, where we go? We're going to add this start fog, and then store in, we want to change to local. So we're going to store this in a local value called spawned. That way we can get rid of it later. So this is just going to play a pretty visual VFX on the player here. So now all we've done is switch weapons. So we actually have to trigger our cast animation. Unfortunately, with this animator, we need to do that on a separate frame. So we are going to add a frame delayed action here, and we can just wait for one frame, and then we're going to set trigger animation parameter. We're also going to play an audio clip. Oh. And again, on this animation trigger, we're going to set that to the body, and the parameter name is cast trigger. So if we look, we're getting these out of the animator. So if you can look down here, here's the cast trigger. Here's the action that we also set. And knowing which ones of those you need to set, it's going to depend on what animator you're using for your particular player or NPC. So for the audio clip on here, we're going to play let's see what this one sounds like. That sounds perfect. Okay, so we'll play audio clip. We're going to play that clip. FX. We're going to play it on the owner. Audio source options. We'll set it to be spatial. We'll set this to be 200. That should be good. So now we're going to start this casting animation, spawn a pretty effect, and then we're going to go into the release stage. So on the release stage itself, I don't think we need to set anything. In the effect group, I think we can also leave that the same and require a target. Now under the ability or the effect group, we're going to add a condition, because that's how we get our targets, if you remember. And we're going to use a condition that's specifically for the ability system, which is set ability targets. Now again, it's added a conditional action. We don't want that. We want to get rid of that conditional action. So our set ability targets, we want to always set that to be owner. That way it's just always targeting ourselves. And then we want to stop that animation, and we can do that via a trigger. And we're going to set that path and body. And if we look over here on our animator, we have a cast end trigger. And that's what we want to do. Now, also under here, we're going to add a delayed action. And we're going to do that after 3 seconds. And that's where we're going to destroy our effect here. So we're going to destroy object. We also want to set an integer animation parameter and a trigger parameter. So we're actually just going to copy that one over here. Copy that one over here. Actually, let's even copy this one, because I know which one it's going to be. It's going to be this instant switch trigger. So starting with the destroyed object, we don't want to destroy the owner. That would be silly. We want to destroy that spawned, which is the effect that we created. Next, for our integer animation parameter, we want to set the right weapon, and we want to set it to 9, which is a sword. And then we want to set the instant switch trigger, which is what's already here, so that we switch back to actually wielding a sword, so the rest of our animations are good. Now we could add a cooldown here, but I'm going to leave it simple. So we're missing one important component here. We want to actually have a heal action. So we can add that in the effect group. And let's set 15 to 35. Sounds like a good range. And then we want to target the owner, which is the caster, or in this case the player. And that's really it. So, like with the other ability, the attack ability that we made, we're going to want to have some way to trigger this. I've already set that up. So I've added this triggered action. This one's on fire 2, which is the right mouse button. And then we have the cast ability action again. Caster and target are both the owner, and then the ability is that heal ability that we created. So let's give this a try. So left mouse button should attack. Right mouse button should heal. Now we're at full health, so it's really not going to do much, but plays the animation and the particle effect. It took our mana. Our health, of course, didn't go up because it's already at the max. So let's come out here a bit. Oop. Didn't mean to hit that guy so many times. So let's get a bunch of guys attacking us. Maybe. Okay, that's good enough. I'm kind of going to be injured here. So now if we right click, watch the health, goes up to 55. Whoa. Hey, stop that. If we do it again, goes up to 85. One more time. Now it's at 100. And let's just kill some of these guys for the heck of it. Oh, one more. This guy's volunteering. Oh, this guy too. Alright. And that's how you create a heal ability in Cat RPG Builder. In this video, you should have learned how to put together a heal ability, how to trigger animations and particle effects through the ability system, and also how to set it up to be triggered from a mouse button. I hope you found this video informative and useful. Let us know in the comments if there are other videos or tutorials you'd like to see. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on social media for the latest videos and other news. For more information on Cat or Cat RPG Builder and how they can help you build and prototype RPGs faster, please visit catgamebuilder.com. I'm Mike Handberger with Tricky Fast Studios. Thanks for watching.